Welcome, everyone, to the SFLOPRO show. I am your host, Sam Flowers, joined as always by my two casual co-hosts, Dan and Logan. Say hi, guys.
What's up?
How's it going?
Oh, and then we also got Will Weethy over here.
What's up, guys?
Friend of Logan's and basketball player for what team?
VMI, Virginia Military Institute.
All right. So, yeah, we'll be talking a lot about March Madness, of course, and you already knew that this was going to come. Con Skull Island. You got to hear what went on during that. And Bracket Thursday, be ready for what that is. So all this and more on the SFLOPRO show.
Hey, is this thing on?
This must be how baby kangaroos feel when they're on heroin. With your host, Sam Flowers.
This just might be some reckless speculation I'm doing right now.
And your casual co-host, Dan and Logan.
I'm gonna tell you right now, this just doesn't add up.
That's so respectable.
Only on HPU Radio.
All right, so there we go. Now, normally I have the SFLOPRO video of the week. However, due to a certain fan's complaint about it, I'm just not going to do it.
There were air quotes around fan.
Yeah, I put air quotes around fan, of course.
Would you like to at this person?
No, I think the person that I'm talking about knows who I'm talking about. But I'm not going to do the SFLOPRO video of the week, mainly because it is maybe the laziest thing I do on the show. Like, I always pick a video randomly.
Way to point that out, person.
Yeah. So I always just randomly pick it up. So way to go, person. You realized what our laziest part of the show is. But if he doesn't like it, I'll just let him speak for that, and then the fans can come up with that, and then we'll just let that all kind of simmer through and everything. So I mean, that's what it'll be. And yeah, so no more video of the week, and I'm also going to have that be my opening reckless speculation rant of the week, just because I don't have another good one for that. This has not been a good preparation week, but still. Guys, how you been?
I've been good.
Busy week.
Yeah, definitely.
Spring break was good?
Yeah,
then
that
the
was the
teachers
complete
came in.
opposite. It was laid back. You got to see some of the Wolfpack boys. It was good.
Yeah, my break was, since all of my friends, they go to Ohio State, and their break was not the same as my break time. Like, theirs is this week. But I was going to go to Ohio State, and then because of transportation reasons, it's complete crap and everything, but we had a whole plan figured out, and then my brother, he wasn't able to do it because of how his schedule worked out for that one specific day, and then I would have been staying in Dublin for 6 hours or something. So it was all kind of complete crap for why I couldn't go down into Columbus, but still. It's whatever. This is how it is. Logan, you went to the ACC tournament. How was that?
It was really cold, but it was good.
Not
as good as Greensboro.
You like the Barclays Center?
No, not at all. Not at all.
Logan, can you tell us the story about the gangsta?
Oh my gosh.
Can you tell us the story about that?
Do you want a shorter version?
Yeah, give us a shorter version.
Okay, so I worked earlier in the week, but when I sat with my dad up there, we sat in the Wake Forest section, but I guess after Wake Forest lost, somebody sold their tickets that was beside my dad. And my dad, he had already been talking to these people, so he already told me, oh yeah, they're all right, but they're starting to drink. And so we had this nice family in front of us with these two 11-year-olds. But so he had a 19-year-old son, the guy beside my dad. But the dad, he would go up to the barkeep upstairs, and he'd go and get 2 drinks. And then he'd come down and bring it to his 18-year-old son, which is, first of all, against the law. But so they would get wasted off their butt. And so they started cussing, and the old grandpa in front of us, he went and snitched on them to the employees of Barclays. So Barclays comes down there and says, watch your mouth. So dad explodes. And so
the dad, not yours.
The dad. Not my dad. My dad stayed silent the whole time because he said he would go to jail because if he gets in a fight, he's going to actually fight, not words. Yeah. Because he's already done that before. But so the dad makes a scene. They get up and move because they don't want to be there anymore because they're saying MF, F this, F that in front of these 2 little kids. And so the grandpa comes back down. He says, I paid for these tickets. I'm going to come down here. I deserve to sit here because it's mid-court. He's like, I deserve this. And the dad goes and pokes him on the shoulder and starts going, so you are straight gangsta. gangster for going and false advertising my son. And the guy like turns around like, what? Like, I guess this was this guy's way. Like, okay, so this guy's from Philly, but he's from Greenville, South Carolina. But I guess this is his way of saying, like, oh, you're an a-hole or whatever. But this dude just turns around and he starts poking the old man in the face saying, you, sir, are a straight gangster. Gangster. And he just kept saying it. And me and my dad are, like, looking at each other like, what the heck? And then by the time the entire game ended, he had pissed off everybody in the section, and he was calling everybody a gangster. One dude would be like, hey, shut your mouth. He'd be like, gangster. And so some lady, some Duke lady, because they were Duke fans themselves, and this is exactly why I hate Duke as a whole. I mean, there's some good people, but most of the time they're annoying as all get out. But there's even a Duke lady in front of us. She said, can you shut up to let the rest of us enjoy the game? And he goes, you, ma'am, are a straight gangster. Turn around. And, I mean, it's just stupid stuff like that. And, like, the guy beside me, he was a happy drunk. I mean, he's a Carolina fan. But, like, he was booing Grayson. And the 18-year-old son looks at him and tells him to sit his ASS down. He's like, just sit down. You don't need to say a word. I know Grayson. He's not like that. And this guy's looking at me like, did this 18-year-old just tell me to sit my butt down? He was like, oh, I know he's not talking to me. And so, I mean, it was just everybody. But the word that I've learned, I guess it's a Philadelphia thing, or if you want to call somebody like an a-hole, butthole, like MF, like you call him a gangster.
You, sir, are a
like
gangster.
If you're not walking the line, you're a gangster.
Yeah. Because I can almost assure you that we're going to keep on saying you, sir, are a gangster on the show.
Yeah, definitely a new soundbite.
People will probably be confused. It's like I'm an atheist. I don't believe in God. It would be like that.
Buzzy.
We still need to get that soundbite in here. Got to work on that. So, Will, we just met earlier today at dinner.
Yep.
Pizza, Logan, Caroline was there, all that. And you play basketball for VMI. And, what teams that are currently in the bracket, like, that you faced up against? What teams are like?
First off, we played Dayton. They're going up against Wichita State, and of course, we got blown out by them. It was for Christmas break.
What's your guys' record?
We won a solid 6 games this year. I mean, we're not the worst in the NCAA.
That's like 5 more than my high school's team usually gets, so that's not bad.
We did all pretty terrible. So
yeah, but still,
safe to say we aren't in the tournament at all.
Yeah. So you play. So Dayton. So what about them? You think they have good chances against Wichita State?
Against Wichita State, I just don't think they match up well. Wichita State's like a very underrated team that got screwed in the NCAA tournament. So I don't think Dayton's going to pull off an upset. But we also played East Tennessee State, who just went up against Florida.
And they lost.
But they put up a good game. And I picked them to win in my tournament bracket, but they just fell up a little bit short.
Yeah. And then you were saying earlier, West Virginia. You have them in the finals.
West Virginia, I have them in the championship, man. You can't stop the press.
Yeah, see,
their press is just too great.
The thing is,
how was the game against them?
Yeah.
We stayed with them the first half. I mean, we were down by 6 going into halftime, and then they just came out, and we just got so tired of the press.
Which player killed you at half?
My man with the great flow, Nathan Adrian.
The white guy?
Yeah. The white guy was killing you?
The white guy was killing us.
Yo, he sucks.
Yeah, no, the white guy straight up sucks.
That means you guys
suck. Nathan Adrian is the glue guy for West Virginia.
That glue sucks.
That glue
the ball can't even stick in his hands.
Yeah.
That guy's
awesome. The team runs through Nathan Adrian, and if it wasn't for him, they would not be where they are today.
It might be true.
Yeah, maybe. But he's still straight.
They win a lot more games.
Yeah. They wouldn't be a 4 seed. They'd be like a 2 seed.
West Virginia's press is going to make them go to the national championship game.
Oh, gosh.
We'll see. So, West Virginia, what are some other teams that you have in the Final Four?
Ooh, my Final Four. I got
obviously West Virginia.
SMU, West Virginia.
Oh my
SMU,
God.
aka SMH. yo, SMH. They're gonna go to the Elite.
He's so hot on them. He thinks they're like the best.
I'm with you on that. SMU's going to the
What's
Final
that
Four.
guy's name? It's like Olehe or something.
I can't pronounce
his name.
Idea.
It's like
I would not be surprised if they did.
Oley. Something like he's good.
I really wouldn't be surprised if they did go to the Final Four.
Oh, they're definitely going.
Like I only really
they'd have to beat Duke or Villanova.
That's what I'm saying. No, because I think they would beat Duke. Even though I think South Carolina.
First, they got to get past Baylor.
Yeah, they can get past Baylor.
Baylor's not too hot right now.
It depends on which Baylor team they get.
Yeah, but
'Cause
Baylor.
I've seen like a
Baylor
good
always
at the
team.
beginning of the year, maybe
Yeah.
get beat. But Baylor right now,
Yeah.
no
Like
shot.
Okay,
That's what
if
they're
that,
saying.
If
Baylor's
that
on a
Motley
cool
kid
streak.
starts hitting it, like he'll lead that team to the next round.
Yeah, Baylor has some solid length on them where they can.
It's about like Florida State. Florida State's up and down. Like,
Yeah.
they'll have one bad game. Like they got wrecked by Carolina earlier in the season.
That's why you can't really rely on Baylor that much. Like, pick them to win one game, but like really then think it through because if it's
They've
so
lost a
50-50
lot,
and
dude.
everything,
Like they
Baylor.
lost to Georgia State last year.
Oh,
Yeah.
man, they lost a heartbreaker.
they're not good during the tournament. That's the thing. You always have to put history behind it.
Yeah,
That's why I
exactly.
usually have North Carolina going pretty far.
Going to the national championship, winning it all, of course. Yep.
Yeah. I mean, not for like I have them going to the Elite Eight. I have UCLA beating them, but still, yeah. Okay,
Debatable.
so then North Carolina, that's the third team.
Oh,
And then
yeah. And
If
I
they
got,
don't get in foul trouble.
Kansas. And,
Kansas, yeah. That's a good one.
If UNC does not get in foul trouble because Justin Jackson and Joel Berry had to be on the court.
and we can't have any injuries, which we have a history of
Yeah.
in the NCAA tournament.
My final four is North Carolina, or not North Carolina,
UCLA.
UCLA. Then I also have Kansas. I have Villanova, just because to me that is like the safest pick to put them into the Final Four, just because that whole region is kind of like weak in my opinion, but
Except for Duke, maybe.
maybe. But I think I have them losing to South Carolina. I feel like that could be an upset.
That's a
It
bold
could.
prediction
And
right
then
They will lose to either Marquette or South Carolina. They could lose either way.
and then I've
Because
also
they've lost
got
some awful games.
and then also I've got Arizona getting in, and then I think my championship is Kansas over Arizona.
there. That's solid, yeah.
Yeah.
I like it.
Logan,
Logan, what about you?
I have a whole bunch.
just give us what
A
your
main
like.
one?
Yeah, give us your main one, the one you actually care about.
I would say Villanova, Kansas. The one I made last night, I feel like is probably my safest one. I also picked West Virginia in the Final Four.
See, he knows
But-
what he's talking about.
Come on, I thought we were in it together.
I know,
on
but
the white
that
guy
region
beat
down
that.
there, I feel like they could
You
beat
really-
that entire region. Like,
You really
I think
don't
Notre
have that
Dame-
much faith in Arizona? They're hot right now.
But see, I've watched Arizona. Like I've stayed up like over like December break and stuff. Like I'd watch Bill Walton on like the late night game for like 11 o'clock and stuff. But like Arizona, they just have their ups and downs, and that's what. Like if they like same thing with Duke. Like they have really bad games that they'll lose.
I think they're like more consistent with having good games though than Duke is.
Yeah, that's for sure. Arizona has way
That's
better
why.
games.
Also, if they get in, like
But it's the
they
same
just
thing
need
with
to.
Carolina. Like if that Trier guy gets in trouble, they're
Oh, yeah.
it's done for them. Because I mean, I watched that game that they played against Oregon. I mean, it was all him, baby. I
And
mean,
then-
he's their
once
guy.
he like that coach, he would be like, okay, you got to take like a 30-second water break. He's right there at the middle of the court.
So you
right,
got
ready to
so
go
West
in.
Virginia's the one in like your official.
And then I have I put UNC. I mean, I don't really have faith in UNC this year just because I saw what like. Like they just have history of injury trouble and they don't have much depth right now.
And
Like not
then-
like last year where it was like if Marcus Page goes down, we have Joel Berry. You know what I mean?
And your championship
That's very
is
Because we'll have Joel Berry
Yeah,
and
you're right.
Nate Britt out there on the court. Because like Nate needs another guard out there. Like I don't know if you watch a Duke game, but Nate Britt was struggling out there to get the ball moving. I mean, he was trying to take it to the hole. It just was not working. And you need a solid point guard, and that's what Duke had. And that's why they won the ACC tournament. Frank Jackson has turned it on for the Duke Blue Devils.
and then who do you have for your championship?
Kansas and Villanova.
And then Kansas winning.
Yes.
Yeah, because you can't pick Villanova to win
So
it all.
basically, you have the basic teams and the championship
Yeah,
that everybody's
Except for West Virginia.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sir.
yeah, idiot. Dan, let's go with yours. The man who
Speaking of idiot,
who hates
you're
basketball. Let's go with your final four.
Well, I know absolutely nothing about college basketball. So I chose Villanova versus Arizona.
Okay.
Pretty classic. Then, for somehow, I guess I'd have to track it back, but Iowa State and UCLA.
Okay.
So,
And then what's your championship for that?
Arizona, UCLA, and Zona
Yeah.
pulls it off.
Arizona, if they won it at home.
That's another one that I had over
That is
UNC.
true.
Yeah.
I also have one bracket where they lose to Butler because Butler looks really good.
Well, this doesn't have the skill to compare to
Win for-
Carolina.
I know.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Man, I thought could have
It's
had.
just the ACC scares me because they've all had their scares like this year.
But the ACC last year in the NCAA tournament made 6 teams in the Elite Eight.
Yeah.
You gotta go with ACC.
Now, normally we also have Bracket Thursday, and this Thursday it was March Madness. However, we had to do the bracket before So we got it done on like Tuesday or something. We just looked at Dan's bracket and thought of that being like the tiebreaker for us. So for that, like I'll just go through what the Elite Eight would have been, and I'm not putting music in the background. We had Villanova Baylor with Villanova winning. Kansas Oregon, Kansas would win that. UNC UCLA, UCLA won that. Notre Dame Arizona, with Arizona winning that. If we probably would have talked with Grandma Howe, we probably would have put in Notre Dame.
Making an oracle that Notre Dame's
and then
the Final Four.
And then
they're wrong.
Yeah, they were today.
And we have the championship of UCLA over Arizona. So that's what Team SFLOPRO Show has. And I'm looking at it right now. The only one that we have wrong, or only two that we have wrong, sorry, is Butler winning and Virginia winning. We had UNC, Wilmington, and Winthrop winning those games. But everything else, we've got, like, pretty close to right. Middle Tennessee, they're up right now, 76-75, and we had them winning. Vanderbilt, they're losing 48-55, and I don't know what the other score. I think that might be the only games on right now. So, yeah. So that's what we're feeling with March Madness. Now, let's do Law of the Week.
Law of the Week, Law of the Week, Law of the Week.
Will, you like that?
Yeah, that's pretty funny.
That's Logan singing terribly. Dan, I know you have a really good one. Logan, you probably don't have one. You told the story.
I just told that one.
Yeah,
that
told
was my
story.
Law of the Week for sure.
Well, I know you definitely.
Yeah,
you
don't.
You don't have anything.
Anything happened funny this week?
Nope.
No funny story. All right, and we'll let Dan go with his because I really don't have much other than.
You have like two that you could share.
You know what? I'm just gonna.
That's wild.
You know what? I'll share mine because mine's not that funny. Basically, we were at Carolina's Diner the other day, and we were all eating there. And then, basically, Dan, once he got his drink, he spilt the water all over himself and all over the table. He had to get napkins. He had to clean it all up. So that's probably my Law of the Week because, again,
it wasn't my whole glass.
Yeah,
I know, it's not the whole glass.
Like,
it was like maybe,
not even a fourth.
It was, no, I think if anything, it was maybe
Didn't you like go to drink it?
I went to go and drink it, and I like hit it or something, and it just like came out the top, and I was like, "What's going on?"
That would probably be my Law of the Week. Maybe my mom listening to the SFLOPRO Show episode where I'm naming off the crushes that I had, and she's on the phone being like, "Tell me who this person is," and I'm just like, "No." This goes on for another like 10 minutes or so, of just arguing up until I basically give in. So. That's how that is. So those would be my Law of the Week. Stan, you want to give yours?
Yeah, so...
Is this today?
Yeah, so today, I had to go and get these things filled out. These, like, progress, I guess, sheets for, like, the mid-semester. And I have to turn them into my fraternity. And so I went to go and see one of my teachers during his office hours. It's my FYS Sports and Collective Identity teacher. And so... I have him at 7:50 in the morning, and I know he has another class at 9:30, which is the same class. And so I'm, like, sitting in there. So I like, meet him, and he's like, "Hey, how's it going?" And I was like, "Hey, could you fill this out?" He's like, "Yes. If you just want to hang tight for a couple minutes, I'll do it right here." And I said, "Okay, awesome." He's like, "Do you want, before I do that, do you want any coffee?" I was like, "No, I'm good." He's like, "Okay, I'm going to go and make some." So he leaves his office. So I'm just sitting in his office alone. And... guess who walks in? Natalie.
Oh my god!
This is
and
why
I
he
go,
had a big warning sign.
Why was she in there?
And so she goes, "Hey, Dan," and I was like, "Oh, hey, what's up?" And then she was like, and then like our professor walked in. She's like, "You know this guy?" Pointing to me, and I was like, "He's like, yeah, I have him for a class." And so
how does she know him?
So she goes, "Dr. Winkle, I have a question about the test." She's like, and then she looked at me. She's like, "Do you have him for like sports and collective identity?" And I was like, "Yeah." She's like, "Oh, me too." And I was like, "Oh, I have it at 7:50, so you must have it at 9:45 or whatever." She's like, "Yeah." And so she's like, so he's filling that out, and he goes, "Natalie, you should ask Dan if you're allowed to be in this meeting." And because like his expression was like, "Oh, like
get her out."
I think he like didn't really want her to be in there. I think, and so I was like, "Oh no, like it's okay. Yeah, you're good to stay in here." And so like then she was talking about something. I don't remember what it was. But so he finishes filling out my thing, and she goes, Dr. Winkle, I have a question about, like, the test, like, reviewing for the test. And he's like, oh, you mean like the hour and a half review we did today in class? She goes, no, you're kidding me. He's like, no, where were you this morning? She goes, I had some roommate issues that carried over to this. And then, so I just was sitting there and I was just like, oh, okay. I know exactly who she's talking about. I don't know what she's talking about. I know exactly. And so then she's like, yeah, I'm not going to go into detail about it. And then Dr. Winkle, with a completely straight face, because he's not really a funny guy, he goes, yeah, we wouldn't want to hear about that. And then sorry, I'm getting my stuff. Like, he finished filling my thing out. I'm ready to go. I'm like packing up my stuff. He's like, Dan, if you want to stay, you can. Like, I'm pretty sure he was like, please don't leave me alone. And then I was like, oh, sorry, I got to go take a nap and like get ready. I have a long night ahead of me. He's like, okay, yeah, have a good time. And so I just like kind of left him, and I feel bad that I left my boy Adam Winkle hanging out to dry a little bit because he didn't really seem like that was a conversation you want to have because she didn't want to come.
Okay, Logan, you got another?
Oh yeah, so her roommate is my girl Caroline. So I was in there with her last night going over her creed. Don't you have to remember the creed for like your initiation or whatever? For like this, do you have one?
I don't. We don't have a creed.
Maybe that's only sororities.
Okay, so sorority.
It's some sororities and some fraternities. It's different based on like which fraternity or sorority you're in. Like mine, I have other stuff to like memorize. Like I need to know like our motto and stuff like that. Like we don't have an actual creed. But
yeah, so we were at Cottrell from 7 to 10:45. So I mean, plenty of time for Natalie to study and stuff. So we go back to her dorm at 11. And, like, I leave at 12:30, so I'm going over the thing with her because she has to remember it by this Saturday morning.
Who?
Caroline. She has to remember the creed.
Wait, so who's trying to memorize it? Caroline or?
Caroline
Okay,
is.
Caroline.
That's what I was doing in there. So she walks in at, like, 11:30, 30 minutes after we've already been there. Like, Caroline got ready for bed and stuff, and then I was just sitting there, like, laying with her, like, going over the stuff. But Natalie comes in and, like, immediately leaves. So, like, all right.
So
like,
respectable.
Yeah, so I guess she thought something was going on, but like we're sitting there going over like the members and stuff that Caroline has to know for Saturday morning. And like I'm just gonna say like nothing's going on because the Red Devil's here. You know what I'm saying? Like there's nothing. And so for her to go and say that, I think that's so funny because the night before, Caroline was trying to sleep. I went over there after, wasn't I at Cottrell again?
Yeah.
Or where was I? I can't remember.
I can't.
No, I was watching the Wake Forest game, matter of fact. And Caroline had a bad headache all day, and she couldn't go to CVS to get, like, headache medicine or an Advil. So I went over there to give it to her. And
someone forgot to turn off their phone.
No, my ringer's off. It's on Do Not Disturb.
No, but so it's 11 o'clock. The game ended. I take Aiden home. Aiden's Caroline's friend. And so I get there at, like, 11:05. All I'm doing is coming to drop off Advil and stuff. And here comes Natalie barging in with, like, 3 other girls. And it's like 11:30 at night. They stayed there till 1.
No.
Caroline didn't want me to leave until they left because she couldn't go to sleep and she didn't want to have to sit there. So I think that's just so funny because Natalie does this a lot. Like she'll just come in, like Caroline's about to go to sleep, I'm about to leave. She'll come and turn on all the lights and like just start FaceTiming somebody on the phone. So you know what? I'll probably call her out on it next time I see her.
No, you can't. You can't throw me under the bus like that.
Oh no! She does not know you at all. I'm just gonna be like, listen, because hold on. After I left last night, I was like, she was out in the hallway like FaceTiming somebody. But then she went in there after like I left and FaceTimed till like 1 o'clock. Like Caroline, like no headphones in or anything. So, but I went in there. I was like, okay, we're done studying. She was like, oh sure, whatever. I was like, what?
I would. We'll chat later, but I feel like you should just let Caroline handle that.
No, Caroline. See, Caroline won't. She's so awkward. She's backwards.
All right, we don't need to talk about this on the radio.
No. But like,
our viewers don't care. As Dr. Winkle would care, or as Dr. Winkle would say,
but that's
neither one of us want to hear that.
Will, do you have any funny stories from the past about Logan? Give us like anything.
No, I just have that he's a huge drama queen. That's about it.
Oh!
Hey-o!
Oh! Surprise, surprise! Unlikely.
not.
No, I've stayed.
Only we
no.
would have said those
No.
three words.
I've been good this semester. I stayed out of all the drama. I've literally. I have not
this
stepped-
semester.
Yeah.
Key, major.
No, but I've tried to
Key.
I told him at the beginning because me and him used to go over there. We were both involved in that drama, and I said we are not doing any more drama whatsoever. I have not had drama until this bull crap now.
Yep.
I've been perfectly fine. I've had a great semester,
It's all girls'
drama
fault.
free.
That's what causes drama.
But
Yeah.
that's pretty funny though. Like
I
she
was
thinks
like-
Caroline's inconsistent. Like with she's like so inconsiderate, not inconsistent, but inconsiderate. While she like barges in, like Gossip Girls. You want to talk about drama queens? She barges in with 4 of her girls. They're talking about their booties and like how it's not big.
I see.
So it's like, oh, okay, great.
Moving on.
Moving on. So that is
Law of the
everybody.
week.
That is our law of the week.
Law of the week. Law of the week. Law of the week.
So yeah, fun times. Law of the week. Always a good one. Logan, you don't have your weekly observations, right?
No, I didn't. I decided not to do that this week since we were talking about March Madness.
Yeah, and I didn't want to make it because you said you were gonna make it all basketball related, but it's like, come on, make it how it
Plus,
normally
not
is.
much has happened this week.
That's true. Oh, except for okay, if you could have one joke, what would it be?
Do you want me to do like one weekly observation?
Yeah, I won't put it. I'll put in the I won't put in
like-
the intro. Just I'll put in the beeps.
I'd be like, Toby, you need to get a new counselor because his advice about your hair was awful.
Heyo. Ready,
Alright.
ready?
Yeah.
For fun, let me do one.
Okay.
The girls, Florida, tattoo parlor, collision course, ×3.
Haha.
It's pretty
Will, you're
wild.
just very confused. You haven't
I'm just
heard.
observing right now.
You have not heard a
Yeah.
single episode of the SFLOPRO show, right?
Weekly observations is
I'm a
what
rookie.
like Dan Levitard would do. So
Yeah.
Just like go through it.
Well, there will be music and beeps in the middle of it, and it'll sound much better in post and everything. So don't worry. It looks like
Like
weird.
show on
now.
a previous episode.
Yeah, we can do
It's
that.
Most
not been
definitely.
pretty hilarious.
We can do that in the car, like on the way
Pretty
there or
hilarious.
something. Like we can figure out. We'll do that later.
Fine.
Yeah, of course. But yeah, Logan's weekly observations this week. Now, the main event, Con Skull Island. Oh man, okay. Let me tell you, this movie is bonkers. like it's.
hold on, but tell like it's a bad.
No. Okay, yeah. So even though throughout this whole radio show leading up to this episode, I've been saying how much I want to see Con.
Make sure
Like
you viewers understand.
The thing is, I was kind of right because the movie is entertaining, but it is very stupid. Like,
It's
keep that
awful.
in
What's
mind.
entertaining about it is that we
It's
can make
awful.
fun of it.
The movie is definitely so bad it's good. Like it's easily
Like,
up there.
I would compare it to like the fight. I loved the fight because I was dying laughing.
Not since
Not as bad as the fight, but like still.
not since Jack and the Giant Slayer have I had so much fun laughing at a movie. Like it was like I was going in there. There were just like stupid things happening left and right. John C. Reilly. He was great in it.
Yeah, that was a good one.
That
Samuel L.
was-
Jackson, he was pretty funny.
Well, yeah, and you also knew the way he. Okay, let me just say this: spoilers ahead. So skip ahead if you really don't want any spoilers.
Yeah, so right before we going into the movies,
Yeah.
it was previous in the day. I said, Sam, I can already tell you right now. It was before Sam even like started like releasing to me. I said, Sam, why don't you just tell me? He's like, no. I said, dude, I bet you the way Samuel L. Jackson dies is he's like saying, "Oh, you mother," and then just gets killed.
And then that's
And
exactly
that's exactly how he
what
died.
happens. He literally goes like, "Die, motherfucker," and then
Gets
and the
crushed.
fist comes right down on him as he's trying to blow up King Kong, which is really, really stupid. And then also before that, so the monsters in it, they're skull crawlers and everything. And
John C. Reilly's quote about that, or like his part about that was funny.
yeah,
And I knew exactly.
The thing is, the biggest skull crawler. It was coming out, and also I saw this twice. I didn't have to pay for it either time because the first time it was with my father and my brother, and the second time it was with Logan's dad, Logan and Dan, and I was cracking
And
up
Morgan.
at the theater. And Morgan, of course.
Morgan was so pissed. Morgan was like, I wanted to see Logan.
Oh man, Logan, that's a great movie. But anyways, so the giant skull crawler, it's coming out of the water and everything. And in both viewings, I hear somebody say, "Oh, that must be the big one." And then 2 seconds later, John C. Reilly says, "That's the big one."
I turned to Sam and I was like, that's the big one.
He says it. No, To me, though, the funniest thing about the movie was when they were in the skull crawlers, like the graveyard, where I think all the other cons, like all the other gorillas, all of them died.
His parents, apparently.
Yeah.
Because King Kong's parents went in there and got killed.
Apparently, yeah, you're able to kill a bigger, more powerful gorilla, but the smaller gorilla is able to kill you. That just makes sense right there.
He has the fight, bro. He has the power in him.
He's got the touch.
It's not about the size of the dog in the fight. It's about the size of the fight in the dog.
I guess he just wanted some revenge.
Anyways, so they're in there. John C. Reilly, of course, is like, don't go in there. Like, you're going to die.
He's like, what do I know? I've only lived on this island for like 20 years.
And one of the really funny moments is the way John Goodman dies. And he's like, he has a camera with him, and it keeps flashing, and the flash keeps going off and everything. And then he's like, oh, shit. And then the skull crawler comes and eats him. No, I'm not bleeping, because that's a quote from the movie.
Yeah, he's so
respectable.
Yeah. So he says that, and the skull crawler eats him. And as he's going through the stomach and everything, the flash is still going off.
So
for
like
a full 2 minutes.
So like the skull
That's what I'm
crawler,
saying, yeah.
He but you have to say he crawls into like the smoke, so you don't see the skull crawler at all.
But you see all you see is the flash going off
it's
somehow.
So stupid.
And then later on,
That's another Jurassic Park reference. Matter of fact,
yeah.
That Velociraptor in number 2 eats like a flashlight, and like they see it, and they're like, "Oh my god, he's over there."
The dumbest thing, but
they had a lot of Jurassic Park references.
Yeah, because it almost could be like within the same thing. It's basically dinosaurs fighting.
They should do Jurassic World King Kong Godzilla crossover.
I would be totally down for that. But anyways, so then later on, they have to fight the monster, and Tom Hiddleston, he has to go save somebody from poisonous gas. And what he does,
my God.
At this moment, I was laughing out so loudly. He's like, hey, John C. Reilly, throw me your sword. He's like, okay.
Because he has this super sharp sword that he got from, like, his best friend.
Yeah, he throws him the sword.
Somehow.
Didn't even show it.
He puts on a gas mask, and he just starts going through all these, like, birds or something.
They're like the equivalent of birds.
I'm laughing
like
so loudly at it.
Yeah,
like,
it was
like the dumbest thing ever.
It was in slow
motion. And it just like didn't
on
fit.
The gas mask.
It didn't fit with the rest of the movie
at
like,
all.
Just like the style.
It's like there was a green background. No, there was slow mo.
It looked like
but
if I'm being honest,
stupid.
It looked like something that like if you've ever seen those people on YouTube, I think they're called the slow-mo guys.
Yeah.
It literally looked like that because it had like this powder in the back that was like the poisonous gas. And, like he was just slicing through stuff. If it had been like watermelons or something, then it literally could have been something straight off that like YouTube
channel. He was able to slice through them all so easily and everything. Like, it was ridiculous. True. And then, man, there's so many things in this movie that are just like incredibly stupid. Man. Basically, the way that they get the funding for like the trip and everything, they're talking to like the senator, and he's like, "No, we don't want to give you this money. This is going to be a waste of money and everything." And then Dr. Dre from Straight Outta Compton, he's just like, "Oh yeah, but the Russians, they're going to find it, and we got to beat them to there first." And then they're just like, "Okay, here's all this money." Like it doesn't make any sense whatsoever. After he basically denied him through everything, like that was whack. That was whack. Oh, man. And then...
Okay, do you want me to tell what saved the movie, in my opinion?
Yeah, go ahead. So give us that.
So, what would have saved the movie for me was if that King Kong, like... Because he beat that really big skull crawler pretty easily.
Yeah.
First off, let's talk about how he did it.
Yeah.
So, of course... So, he literally has this thing by the jaw and is tearing it apart, and so it looks like he's just gonna snap its jaw and split it down the middle, and it would be dead.
However, he has to
stops.
He has to go save Brie Larson.
Yeah, first. He lets go and throws.
No, he doesn't. He stops and then just hits his head up against. He hits the thing's head up against a wall, and then leaves it and goes and saves Brie Larson.
No, but he throws it
up against the mountain.
He threw it up against the mountain and made her fall, and then he's like. Ooh.
And then he goes and saves Brie Larson. And then he has her in his hand. And all of a sudden the Skull Crusher is eating his hand. Oh, and he has its tongue wrapped around Kong's wrist. And then Kong just pulls his hand out. And it just takes out the whole creature's tongue. And apparently it's like connected to his brain or something. Like
spine, everything.
And like the thing just dies.
And somehow Brie Larson is perfectly fine inside Kong's hand, even though
it was inside the skull
like the
crawler's mouth.
The ton was wrapped around Kong's wrist and everything, and he just pulled it out. But still, she was perfectly fine.
She's sitting on the boat at the end of the movie, like her hair's like flowing in the wind.
Yeah,
like no saliva or anything from being in some freaking lizard creatures. Like,
but what would have saved the movie for me is if he hadn't been able to beat him that easily, and he would have had to like die. Or, like, if what had happened was, like, when Samuel L. Jackson was going to blow him up, if he had grabbed the, like, huge skull crusher and just, like, committed, like, suicide bomb, I guess? I don't know. Like, what would you call it? Sacrifice himself. He would just, like, take it and then they both blow up and it would be the end of it. But then all of a sudden, a mother gorilla comes out with a baby gorilla, and the little baby gorilla is like the next King Kong, and that's like because you know that he's gonna live through the movie because it's like, oh, King Kong versus Godzilla.
Yeah,
that would have been. I literally would have been like, that's so awesome. I would have been like, this movie was so great.
Speaking of sacrifice and suicide and all that stuff, one of the characters, like, because they have army people there and everything, and one of the characters, for absolutely no reason, sacrifices himself. Like, again, I saw this movie twice. The second time, I was really trying to be like, okay, is there any type of, like, logic or some sort of way that it would make sense for him to want to commit suicide and, like, sacrifice himself for his friends? No, there was absolutely none whatsoever. He literally has the bombs in his hand, and I guess his theory was the skull crawler is going to eat him so he can blow him up on the inside. But the skull crawler himself is kind of just like, yeah, no, I see those explosives in your hands. I'm not going to go after that. And he just whips him with his tail, and the guy just completely explodes. And he's just like, well, it's like, well, way to go, gangsta. You died for nothing. Something that me and Logan noticed when we were watching the movie, they have to get there on a boat and they have helicopters on their boat and everything, and it's pretty obvious that they have like maybe 3 or 4 helicopters, but then they go to a wide, like an extreme wide shot, and there's like 50 helicopters there all going like into the island. Like, where they never really showed where all those other helicopters were. There were supposed to be 4 on the boat maybe, and then there's like 50 in the air all of a sudden. Like, that's just, again, it's like there's so many things in it that are just so ridiculous and stupid. The monsters in it, like, they were kind of like, eh. There was a some, like, tree monster. I can't even remember.
They started shooting at.
They started shooting at and then just kind of rolled away. Yeah, and then he gets eaten. Yeah, like, it's, I don't know. This was one where I guess I didn't think it would be as stupid, but it was very stupid. However, it was enjoyable. I'm pretty glad that I did see it. So that was at least something.
Transformers will definitely be better after you said Kong would be better.
Maybe I will say that. Because I mean, if I don't know, if Anthony Hopkins, if he's saying that this is the greatest movie he's ever been a part of, and he's been a part of a lot of great movies, then I don't know. It's either going to be he's clearly going insane, or he is actually right about this. Like, that's the one thing that's kind of keeping me with this Transformers 5 thing afloat. But I don't know. I don't know if it'll be as stupid, as good, as bad. I don't know. It's all just a big wait and see moment. Can we get a score update on any of the basketball scores?
Vanderbilt's guy saying, so Vanderbilt was up 66-65, and their point guard decided to go and foul the Northwestern guy, and he made both his free throws.
How much time is left on the clock?
1.4, and Northwestern has the ball.
Ooh.
Game over here in a minute.
They just fouled Northwestern, so Northwestern is about to go to the free throw line.
No. So Vanderbilt's going to get they're going to have to shoot three-pointer.
You hate to see it happen.
Or if I was Northwestern, I would make the first one and then miss the second.
I wouldn't even chance it. Try to hit both.
No, I'd miss it because 1.4 is too much.
You never know. You never know with basketball, man. Somebody can just throw up a half-court shot and win the game.
That's true. Anything's possible. It's March Madness. That's the beauty of it.
Although there hasn't been any upsets.
Ooh. Yeah, that's true. No upsets yet.
No upsets.
I like to pick upsets. That's probably why my bracket's been terrible.
Middle Tennessee.
Oh,
Middle
yeah,
Tennessee. Oh, they
They are winning
right
now, so.
All right, well, that's at least good.
Here's their last second chance to win it right here. Vanderbilt. Throws it up.
Oh, bum, 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 bum.
Freaking Grandma Howe.
Grandma Howe, who'd she
Pick
pick?
Northwestern.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God.
Of course she
I hope Northwestern beats Gonzaga.
No way.
Yeah.
No way.
Yahweh.
That guy's an idiot. Fisher Davis. He's supposed to be
He's
good.
the best player.
Dude,
Not Cornette.
No, Bishop Davis.
Logan, you want me, because, like, I didn't tell Nino anything. You want me to call him up, see if he wants to talk about March Madness?
Dude, why don't you just go through tonight's games and let us see what we have for
Okay, yeah, we
tonight's
can
game.
do that.
Tonight and tomorrow's games that haven't been played.
Yeah, because I didn't tell anybody, like, to be a guest. I was very unprepared for this episode. So let's see. Games that are going to be played later tonight. Well, you got Xavier, Maryland.
Maryland. Xavier's
dude, Xavier.
Trayvon Blewett got hurt earlier in the season, and he's still struggling off that injury.
See, the thing
I don't
is,
trust Xavier.
Yeah,
Noah Trimble's
I
wrong.
always pick them to win one game, but I've also been doing terrible this whole time, so what do I know? Nova, they're going to win against
Of course, yeah.
whoever they're facing. Their number
The
one.
best
overall.
game of the night is Wisconsin and Virginia Tech.
That's going to be a real close one. And
VCU, St. Mary's.
VCU, St. Mary's wasn't in that great of a conference anyways. So VCU, I have VCU
I'm
winning.
feeling VCU also.
I picked VCU in a couple of them, but everybody's picked the underdog like they do in Middle
But
Tennessee.
every time, like, St. Mary's play Gonzaga, they get blown out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
I just don't trust them.
Then you got Purdue, Vermont.
Purdue's going to end Vermont's winning streak.
No, I got Vermont. They're gonna win this one.
Dude, Purdue,
You are
in
tripping.
one of mine, I had them going to the Final Four.
I did
You
too.
gotta be thinking also. I've had a lot of things wrong today, so I probably am
Yeah,
gonna be
you're
wrong
not-
about this.
You're not gonna
I've
lie.
been
right
on
now.
a huge talking about teams that are going to be on hot streaks. I've been on a huge cold streak today. Next game, then you've got Florida State and Florida Gulf Coast. I'm currently wearing a Florida Gulf Coast shirt, but I'm picking Florida State to win.
A lot of people have Florida Gulf Coast as an upset.
Yeah,
winner.
I think it's only
They're
because they're
also
thinking
down.
of that when they were the 15
Yeah.
seed. Like, I think that's the only reason why they're picking them.
Florida State just has too much length and depth.
They have some big boys. I mean,
Yeah.
they literally have a guy from Nigeria that is 7 foot tall. I mean, he is straight from Africa. Like, he is raw. He was dunking all over everybody.
Africa.
Like, they announced his name, and I heard him speak, like, in his press conference, and, like, that is a big man.
It's a big guy right there. Virginia Tech, Wisconsin.
Gotta go with ACC.
ACC.
I'm feeling Wisconsin, which is who Grandma Howe has beating Villanova.
Yeah, I said Virginia Tech.
Grandma
first.
Howe has Wisconsin being Villanova.
The
That will be the
Oracle.
day.
If she gets that, I'm done. I'm not doing the
I will
bracket pool
personally
anymore.
quit if she ends up being right.
I will stop making brackets.
I will be
and
done
I will
with brackets.
go. I will take her to Vegas, and we will bet on every single game, one at a time, like what she thinks.
I just want to know. who
Then you'll
the method
lose
is.
your money. What if that happened?
I just want to see if Notre Dame actually makes it, because every time she's picked Notre Dame to go this far, like
They made it.
yeah, so like they made it all the way to
when they play Kentucky.
the Elite Eight and played Kentucky, but then she had Kentucky beating them.
Arizona, they face North Dakota.
Arizona.
Arizona.
They're just too good.
And then Iowa State, Nevada, which
That's
I
a
think
good one.
I
that could
actually
be
had
fun.
Nevada winning, so
Oh, I don't know if I can pick against Monte Morris.
I had a tough time
That's
trying to
my
pick
boy.
against them, but I had to throw a 12-5 upset.
And then what's
in
that
there.
other big boy that they got in there?
I
His
can't.
name's like number 12. He's got number 12. I
I
can't
don't know.
remember, but him and Monte are good together.
So those are the games for tonight. So let's just go through the ones tomorrow. You got Oklahoma State, Michigan.
Ooh, that's a toss-up.
Oklahoma State.
Oklahoma. See,
I'm
that's
going with-
also what I told
No.
Sam. He said Michigan's hot, but I said
Juwan
Juwan
Evans
Evans and
for
Phil
Oklahoma
Forte.
State. Yeah, you
And
can't
Phil
stop.
Forte.
Yeah, but you also got the plane crash, and it's such a great
Yeah,
story.
I mean,
That was
brought
a
them
great
closer
story for
together.
the. Yeah, but that was a great story for the Big Ten tournament.
Yeah,
what they
That's
won.
done and over with
It's
now.
over.
No one's going to
They
stop
got
Juwan
on another.
Evans.
They got on another plane and they landed safely.
I
Yeah,
guess.
Juwan Evans is going to be a problem.
Baylor,
Forte, too.
Baylor, New Mexico State. I would not be surprised if
No,
New Mexico
Baylor's
State.
I would
got
not be
it.
surprised either, but
No,
I do have
No,
I got
yeah,
Baylor
gotta
this
pick
year. This
Baylor.
is their year.
Baylor's going to lose next round.
Oh,
Yeah, but I'm
no.
saying this is their year to get past the.
I have
Maybe.
Marquette winning
Marquette. Who are they?
against South Carolina.
Oh,
Should I change that? Can
Nah,
you change
keep
it?
I keep it.
No.
Gotta stick with what I have.
Of course you do.
Can't.
Arkansas, Seton Hall.
Seton Hall. SEC is not that strong of a conference to me.
Doesn't Arkansas have that Moses Kingley kid?
Yeah, that's it.
Oh. Okay.
But Seton Hall also has that big dude that missed the game-winning shot, but he's like,
Yeah, Seton Hall played Villanova pretty close, as well as who was it that they played really close?
Seton Hall pretty much almost had the game won against Villanova.
Yeah. But yeah, if Moses Kingley, it depends if he shows up.
And
he's
then
really good.
Oregon, Iona. Anything with that?
Oregon. But make sure to be looking out for Oregon in the next round since they lost their big center.
Louisville, Jacksonville State.
Louisville.
You see, I clearly pick Louisville, but this one I would not be surprised if Jacksonville State. I don't know. I don't know what it is.
Too much.
I don't know what it is. I have a feeling that this could be the
No,
15.
okay. No, listen.
Not gonna be the year.
That Duke Louisville ACC tournament game should have not been played in that round. Like that should have been.
Not.
They should not have both of those guys on the same side of the bracket.
Yeah.
Like Louisville was good. That was one of the best games of the tournament, I thought.
I don't like Louisville that much. So.
Oh, I don't either. I don't like Patino, but still, that Donovan Mitchell kid is a force to reckon with. Same thing with that Snyder.
Oh, Quentin Snyder. Yeah.
And then who's number 22? Big boy, Abel or something.
Yeah, he looks like
he could shoot threes. Like he is a big boy, but he's like taller than Will, like and shoots threes like no tomorrow.
Then you got USC, SMU.
Oh, you gotta go SMU.
Got to go SMU, a.k.a. SMH.
SMH.
North Carolina, they're going to be Texas Southern. Creighton, Rhode Island.
Rhode Island. Creighton's best player, one of the best players, is injured, so you gotta go with Rhode Island on that one.
Yeah, Rhode Island. The odd line on that is even. Like they're almost
surprisingly.
Yeah. Kansas, they'll beat UC Davis. Dayton, Wichita State. We were kind of talking about this earlier. Like
you got to go with Wichita State.
Feeling Wichita. I've been very 50-50. Like because I also filled out like a lot of brackets, like 15 brackets or something like that. Oh my gosh. And I've been very 50-50 on Dayton or Wichita State. Like I could go either way.
I think I put Wichita in every single one.
Yeah, Wichita should be a lower seed.
What about Kansas State, Cincinnati?
We'll get to that.
Oh,
Duke or Troy?
Oh, Duke.
That's a close one, but I gotta go with Duke.
Would not be surprised if Troy won.
Of course.
Then we get to Kansas State, Cincinnati. Almost
Cincy.
Wake Forest.
You gotta go with Cincinnati.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good old
but,
Cincy.
But still, no, well, okay, don't be surprised if Kansas State wins because Cincinnati got wrecked by SMU in the conference tournament championship. I watched that game before the ACC. They had it on the TV in the basement, but they really were wrecking Cincinnati's big guys. And the other night, John Collins has been one of the best players in the ACC, but they humiliated him on the pick and roll. So if Kansas State, let me tell you, they were knocking down every shot. Will didn't get a chance to watch that game, but like Sam watched with me. But they would have like roll-ins. Like I mean, their guy was 7 for 7 at one point. They were hitting everything that they threw up, and if they continued to do that, they would definitely beat Cincinnati.
Next game then would be Michigan State, Miami.
This is a tough one.
That's a tough one.
This one,
dude, let's go Hurricanes.
This one I could go 50-50 because like Michigan State tournament, like it is pretty safe.
But hold on, but let's look at
I also
Miami's beat.
saw Miami when they faced Wake Forest,
but they got beat by 30.
Yeah, to Wake Forest.
But Miami also did wreck Carolina.
Yeah, wrecked Carolina, beat Duke.
It's very 50-50.
But it's almost hard to bet against Michigan State when it comes to NCAA.
Well, except for last year when they lost to Middle Tennessee.
But that time people had them in the championship.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had them going all the way too last year. And
I just don't see Michigan State going that far. I don't know if they'll win against Miami because I also watched them lose to Minnesota earlier in the year.
I had Miami winning that one.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Miami.
Then you got Kentucky, Northern Kentucky. Kentucky. Marquette, South Carolina.
That's another toss-up.
Marquette.
I'm saying South Carolina.
I said South Carolina and a majority of them, but I put Marquette like 1 or 2.
And then finally UCLA, Kent State.
UCLA, too much offensive power for them.
Plus,
I heard Kent State was actually very good, though.
Really?
They're not terrible.
I have never
almost went
watched
to
them.
Kent State.
I've never watched them, but apparently I was talking to my coach Muse, one of my colleagues, and he was telling me how good Kent State was. Like he's been on the phone. Apparently he's making bets instead of making brackets, and Well, he got in my bracket pool, but he said Kent State is a possible upsetter for UCLA. But I told him I think he's nuts.
UCLA doesn't play defense too well, so
Yeah, exactly. They
so Kent State could possibly. throw
Oregon
off an upset.
wrecked them.
Yeah. Would not be surprising, really.
Oregon wrecked them twice. Dylan Brooks, man, he would go right through the middle.
Yeah,
he was yamming it on some boys.
That's why UCLA won't go very far in the tournament because their defense.
If they play defense, they'll make it to the championship because their offense, boy, is their offense good.
Yeah. So
Too many offensive weapons.
But not enough defensive weapons.
Yep.
All right. Don't really have anything else. We got 10 more minutes. Don't really have anything else like ready or planned.
Hold on. Let's have a quick discussion.
Okay.
Let's talk about some of the movies, trailers that we've seen. I say that the two that we kind of talk about, I think that we need to talk about Wonder Woman and what we talked about in the car that one day. And
I'm going to guess it's Despicable Me 3.
And Despicable Me 3.
Yeah.
Oh.
Let's have a quick chat.
All right, let's quickly chat.
I'll
Despicable Me
yeah.
3. I like the concept that they're going for. However, I'm still anti.
No, but let's talk about. So me and Dan, we like those
my
movies,
God.
but they went to. When we first
Did
watched
I
the
see the
trailer,
second one?
when we first watched that first trailer that came out, like we thought it was gonna be a whole different story. But then when they came out with the second one with like the twin brother and thing, did not know they were gonna take that route at all.
Like
Maybe it was about like Rogue One where they like threw it back in the trash and then they went and made some more and they're just not telling people. You know what I'm saying? Like Rogue One went and filmed again and added some stuff in.
Like
maybe
they
that's what they
do.
did. They just added this new Droog. I mean, I think it's funny.
Like, I mean, I like the concept that they're going for, but I'm still anti-Illumination Entertainment because every movie that I've
Well,
seen
you know what?
from
I'm
them,
anti-DreamWorks besides Shrek because they made some crappy movies.
No, man, they've made
They're making
also,
Captain Underpants now. That's
As
how
they
bad
should.
it. No.
no.
DreamWorks has literally.
DreamWorks is
They have literally been flushed away.
yeah, no.
Oh,
They have literally, like, they've been thrown over the hedge. You know what I'm saying?
Oh no!
Yeah, they suck. Shrek, they're good. Even you said the fourth one's bad. That's when it all started going downhill. Like,
Wait,
But
Shrek made a
the
fourth
thing
movie?
is,
Wow.
the thing is though, with DreamWorks, like they're not trying to go out for the common people and like go for their lowest common denominator, like how Illumination does. Like they just do it for their own thing. Like they do what they want to do.
well, that's stupid.
No, that's at
That's
least
probably why Disney and what's the other company? Illumination. Yeah, they kill it, man. They kill the market.
Wait, but let's
no,
just
because
talk-
Illumination goes as basic as possible. At least
Okay.
DreamWorks is going out there and doing something like
Here's
different.
my. Do you know what I don't like about like? One of the reasons why I think I like Disney like overall better than any of those other ones like is I feel like they don't have to sacrifice. Like I feel like they're way more like
I know exactly. what you're
not
saying.
reverent, but like I don't want to say classier than like because I couldn't tell you. I don't think I've seen a lot of Disney shows or movies that utilize like lowbrow humor, like fart jokes or anything like that. But like you see that in almost every single DreamWorks movie, almost every single Nickelodeon show.
Like they're funny. Like, but it's like their own creative.
Yeah, no, like
jokes.
I'm not saying.
I'm just saying, like not
like
even.
Shrek is like ripping on Disney stuff. They pull like
No, that one
it's
was
just
funny.
A parody. Like it's funny. Like
I
parody.
enjoy that as I get older rather than when I was a kid.
But like from the kid's standpoint, I was like, I mean,
Yeah, I was
Shrek
like,
was good, but
No,
I was
like
like,
I
this
was-
is
I
gross.
was all
this is
over it
weird.
as
it's
a
also
kid.
about like SpongeBob and it's like
I just
that
feel
joke
like
is
we have
stupid.
different. Like I feel like
I know exactly what you're saying. Like
like-
Disney's jokes are like creative. Like they also
and
like
they're
doing
classy.
like
I think
yeah,
that
they're also
for
doing
the
like
most
the
part,
live
they're
action
classy.
now. That's really smart. But then they're also making new movies like Moana. Now they got the new Coco movie coming out.
Like did they?
That's
I don't think
Pixar
that there
also.
was really
I know, but
lowbrow
I'm talking-
humor.
But it's under
Yeah.
Disney.
Like there
You
was
can't
no
take Pixar
lowbrow
and Disney. It's
humor.
together.
I know,
in-
but I like to separate the two.
Like
In
Disney
Moana.
and Star Wars are together.
Yeah,
No
but you
question.
still got it's like still better just to separate
It's
them.
Disney's franchise. Everything is Disney now. The Walt Disney franchise is amazing.
Okay, but regardless, like that's also part of what I don't like about like those ones.
Like it's just like them or hate them. At least they're like doing their own thing. Like they're not trying to go for as
But
basic as possible.
but
they're
they're-
going for
They're
something
getting
way out
worse.
there.
Yeah, but Sam, it's getting like to the point where
That's
Okay,
yeah,
no, no,
that's
no,
a fair
no, no,
point.
But like
I'm
that's
still
something
saying.
that you personally like a lot. Like
Yeah.
when somebody
They're
like
going like
you like
way
stuff
out.
that's like sometimes
But like
way
if we
out
were to
there.
do like you know how I was doing with my mom, like the fake interview. If we were to go take to the streets, like local elementary schools around here, we take to the streets what these kids are watching. I would probably say 97% kids watch the Disney movies.
Yeah.
If like Trip.
Well,
You know
yeah,
Trip?
but a
Yeah.
lot of them also watch the
That's not
also
like
watch the
Because DreamWorks
DreamWorks and stuff.
No.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, but
Maybe
like,
not as much DreamWorks,
not anymore
but more
because
like
it sucks. We
I'd
did.
say
yeah.
for this next generation, Illumination Entertainment is replacing where DreamWorks was.
Yeah.
For that, for
No,
the
it's
next
already-
generation,
it
you think
already
about it,
has.
Despicable Me,
Sing.
Sing, like all those. That's what people
It's
would
already
associate.
taken
Like,
away from DreamWorks.
what's the
DreamWorks
last
is
DreamWorks
art, yeah.
movie? I couldn't tell you what the last DreamWorks movie was. that
I
we came
can't
out with.
either. I mean, like, still.
Exactly.
Fell
So,
off.
like,
Shrek
so I-
was your age, like that was our age group. That's what you liked, those first three. But then once my sister got old and we took her to see Shrek 4, did not like it whatsoever.
I don't think that my brother and sister have even ever seen Shrek.
They should.
But you gotta
2 is
understand.
amazing.
Like Tim Bussey's kids, all four of them, they pick Disney movies. Trip, he would pick Disney movies, and then
Who's
also
Trip?
the Hodges boy, little Trip.
Oh,
Yeah, so
oh.
like, but he would also pick the Minions. That's his age group now. They
I think
love
that
Minions.
reckless speculation.
No, but
No, I'm just saying
Illumination has taken over
for their
DreamWorks.
generation. I think it's
Yeah.
a preference.
It goes
It's
Disney,
bad.
Illumination, DreamWorks.
Well, I mean, I know Logan and I were Disney guys growing up,
Yeah.
rather than that. And
But
like,
I would say, reckless speculation, I would say this is a bold prediction. I would say right now, interviewing elementary kids, I would say it'd be 97% that watch Disney or
well, you'd probably.
Illumination more.
Well, what do
than
you mean by
DreamWorks.
Disney? Are you talking about Pixar
I'm
movies?
talking about cartoons.
Star Wars
No.
and
I'm talking about like
just
Shrek,
Disney animation.
Pixar and Disney
like
animation.
Inside. Wait, was Inside Out Pixar?
Pixar.
Yeah, but still, Pixar and Disney
So like
animation.
Moana.
Moana's Disney.
Frozen.
Frozen is Disney.
But no. You add Pixar and them together because it's Disney. Like that's original Disney. You know what I'm saying? Like those are
Yeah.
Disney characters. You don't say they're Pixar characters. You say like they're everybody.
Yeah, like
puts
when
them
you
as
go
a
to
whole.
Disney World,
They're Disney.
you look
characters.
to see
Look.
wasn't Buddy.
Yeah.
Look, DreamWorks might not be the best, but Illumination's also not the best.
Buzz and Woody. Okay.
That's what I'm saying.
Wow.
Those two aren't the best. Yes, Disney is the best right now. Like that's what I'm
not
saying.
the best, but I would choose
Yeah.
Despicable Me. Over
No, I'm just saying,
DreamWorks.
like that's just something that I think is happening with this upcoming
I know,
generation,
yeah.
which is
When
He
Despicable
says
Me
he
first
can't
came
do
out-
I
anything
don't like.
about it.
I'm not saying that I like either
I
one.
remember the first time I watched Despicable Me. It was in 2008.
2010.
Was it 2010? Yeah, that's
2010.
right. That was when Green Bay won the Super Bowl. Me and my sister, we drove down with my family to go watch the Atlanta Falcons versus Green Bay Packers, and she put it in, and I was like, "What is this tomfoolery?" Because that was when Illumination first started, and I was highly impressed with that movie.
See, no, that's like the opposite for me. Like, I went to see it with my cousins, and we were just like, what was that? That was completely like, are you kidding
Well, that
me?
must have been the 3% of the world. You're
And Brianna, like-
because everybody loved the Minions.
I don't see the appeal.
Yeah.
But there are like my sister fell under the spell for a little bit.
Yeah.
She thought that some of the jokes were funny. Like the Minions movie was stupid.
Stupid, yeah.
The only thing I liked about the Minions movie was the very end. I thought that
But
that
like,
was
yeah,
clever.
yeah.
Where they tied it together with Gru.
But see, Illumination
only
knows that
clever
now, 'cause,
part.
like they know not to ever do that again. They think because everybody likes to see a little bit of the Minions. Like they you get a storyline, but then the Minions say something funny. Like in Despicable Me 2, they're like singing at the end. People are like, "That's so." Even my dad like freaking laughs at that. He thinks those movies are
Yeah,
funny.
exactly. My dad and sister, they kind of like those little like moments where it's just like absolutely ridiculous. They like
Yeah,
those ones.
like they did.
That's
like
not personally. That's not one of my
Yeah.
favorite parts, but like, I can see the appeal of it, and so like it's stuff like that. Like that's replacing.
but
what
they
people
also do
laughed
a
at in,
creative
like, Shrek.
storyline. Like you wouldn't think a supervillain's going to adopt kids. Like that's a.
I
It's
also
kind of
I
been
was-
like done
I
before
was
though.
not
Like,
a
But like,
huge-
but
evil
what?
big guy like does
No, but
something with
what?
kids.
No, adopts
What?
the 3 kids. Please,
No,
name
yeah.
another movie.
I know, like I'm just saying that type of concept it has been done before, where some sort
Not
of
in a
big
kids
tough guy.
movie.
Yeah, that is a kids movie. Some sort of big tough guy or some really cool
Name the
person,
movie.
like The Spy Next Door with Jackie Chan. The Game Plan with The Rock.
No,
the bad guy adopts kids.
No, but it's still the same basic
no,
concept
it's
of
not.
it. Yes,
a bad
it
guy's
is.
not adopting kids, Sam.
Bad guy, like
Jackie Chan was
badass.
No.
Like,
You're
the
saying
neighbor.
so
Action
he's saying
hero.
somebody who's like this like
Super
almost
tough.
stoic
No, we're
like
talking
tough
about
guy
he's a villain.
shows
Sam.
a softer
a
side.
bad guy.
No, but it's still
I
it's still
understand
like
where
tough
he's
guy,
coming from, and I
softer
also
side.
agree with you.
Yeah, but
I understand where you're coming
Yeah,
from. I
but
think it's a
that-
little
yeah.
bit different
yeah,
because
your
it's like
argument's totally
okay, from the
different.
beginning, he's like, hey, instead of him being put in a situation where he has to be with these girls, he's like, hey, why don't I manipulate these
Yeah,
girls
and it's never been
so that
done
I can
before.
get what I want? And then somehow it turns out okay, Which I mean, like, that concept has been used before where it's
Yeah.
like, I'm going to
The
try to do
entire
something for
Shrek
myself,
movie,
but
like,
then I'm going to
those storylines have been used before.
No,
but
it's
was
just like,
funny.
No, yeah. But
But yeah.
that's also like it's parody.
But that's why people loved Despicable Me, because it's different. They're like, oh my god, this bad guy's going like and adopting these kids. Like, what the heck?
All right, we got 15 seconds left. I'd be surprised that I talk this much.
Because you get heated over your stupid DreamWorks.
Oh my god, it's not.
It's
the
dead.
Regardless,
I think-
okay, wait, side note. Bold prediction, we'll probably try and dive into it next week. Wonder Woman is going to be extremely similar to Captain America.
Oh yeah, we didn't get into that.
Oh, boom.
All right, we're out of time. I'm gonna close this show. Any last plugs, real fast?
No, shout out to our boy Will.
Shout out.
Beauty
coming
and the
out
Beast.
today.
I forgot to talk about that.
Beauty and the Beast, we'll dive into that next week. It hasn't come out yet, right?
No.
No.
So I
So,
have to go see it before we talk about it. It'll be like one of those Tuesday night things.
do I really want to, though?
We have to. Just
Not
because-
a
no,
huge
we've been
fan of
hyping
Josh
it up.
Gad. Josh Gad,
We're not
Straight
a
up
fan of,
sucks.
we're not a
Josh
fan
Gad
of
is
what they
Straight up
turned
sucks.
him into. We're not a fan of what they turned him into.
he's always been like that.
He's not actually gay.
No, but like he's always been like, hey, why don't I? All right,
Will, any plugs? Twitter handle? You want to see if that might get?
He made out with he kissed a
I
guy
don't have much.
on,
Okay.
on television.
Okay.
Disgusting.
Disgusting.
Watch the next episodes. The last 3 episodes are going to be a good one of this show before this.
Oh, get ready for Jeopardy.
Get ready for Jeopardy.
Oh,
get ready for
boy.
Pro Show Awards, and get ready for me ranting on my videos. Bye bye.
So from
Bye bye. Thanks for listening to the SFLOPRO Show with your host Sam Flowers and your casual co-hosts Dan and Logan. Join us every week, 7 to 8 every Thursday.
The SFLOPRO Show was not recorded in front of a live studio audience. Some editing may or may not have occurred between the original air date and now. Listen in live only on HBU Radio.
Yeah, baby. Yeah.